Kira-kira mulainya jam berapa ya, Ibu?
Semuanya duduk.
Ya, good morning Ibu, selamat pagi. Ya, kami di room kita ada 16, ada 14 partisipan. Ya, masih menunggu 5 menit atau 10 menit. Nanti jika 5 menit lagi atau 10 menit tidak ada yang bergabung, belum ada yang bergabung, acara tetap akan kita mulai.
Terima kasih.
Ya, sama-sama Ibu. Ini peserta dari mana, Ibu? Selamat pagi, Ibu Laili Noviani.
Saya
Halo.
Ya, halo.
Ya.
Ya, saya dari Badan Riset Inovasi Nasional, Ibu.
Oh, ya siap. Ya. Untuk Ibu
di luar ruangan, jadi mungkin kalau agak noise.
It's okay, Ibu. Ya. Oke. Untuk Ibu Siti Nur Hidayati, Ibu dari mana, Ibu? Ya, good morning Ibu Siti Nur Hayati.
Saya dari Universitas Pendidikan Mandalika.
Oh, jauh sekali. Ya, selamat bergabung Ibu. Kita masih menunggu peserta yang lain ya. Kita baru join 4 partisipan, padahal dari total 14 orang. Kita akan menunggu yang lain bergabung sebentar lagi, ya. Ya. Untuk Ibu Almi Dahlena, boleh tahu Ibu dari mana asalnya Ibu?
Okay, yes, Miss.
Yes.
I am from Institut Pendidikan Indonesia Garut, and I represent to Mr. Eldi Mulyana and other author, Miss.
Ya, oke, ya. Oke,
Yes.
oke. Miss Almi Dahlena. Okay. And then we go on the next presenter, Miss Sarila. Okay, Miss Sarila. Where are you from, Miss Sarila? Good morning.
Good morning. I am dari Universitas Pendidikan Mandalika Mataram.
Oh ya, jauh sekali. Selamat bergabung. Ya, ini kita masih menunggu sebentar lagi ya. Sebentar lagi akan kita mulai. Ya. For Mrs. Sarila, I would like to ask you about the presentation today. Ibu akan mempresentasikan langsung by oral atau melalui video presentasi, Ibu Sarila? Oke. Okay. And okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I would like to start this panel room today because we have waiting in 15 minutes. Okay, good morning everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, good morning Bapak Ibu. My name is Wahyuningsih. Yeah, and I'm a moderator in this room, and I will moderating this live paper session. Okay, this is the panel session, and the presenters are, may I, one by one, okay? The first is the development on early childhood maritime textbook based on local wisdom in Gili Indah Village, North Lombok Regency, West Nusa Tenggara by Miss Nuraini and Miss Sarila. Okay, and the second paper is the implementation of education during the COVID-19 pandemic in special elementary school Jember Regency by Mr. Asroful Mais. And the third paper is peer assessment, analysis of performance appraisal using analytical rubrics to improve critical thinking skills by Ms. Tuti Iriani. And the fourth paper is Eco-Life Media Effect on Students' Eco-Intelligence Ability in Social Studies Learning by Mr. L.D. Moliana. The fifth paper is Religious Literature Management in Catholic Senior High School with multi-religious students by Ms. Nurlaili Noviani. And the sixth paper is a Design and Development of Batik Village, Gemek Sekti Kebumen, based on local wisdom for tourism education by Ms. Eti Ernawati. And the seventh paper, okay, title is Contrastive Analysis of the Iluko and Kankani Languages by Yolanda Suzima. Okay, and the eighth paper is Criminal Justice Education Graduate Treasure Study by Donabel B. Bering. Okay, and the ninth paper is Factors Influencing the Decision of Victims to Report to the Police, a case study by John Paul R. Leses. Okay, and the 10th paper is Heirloom Food Preservation Techniques and Language of the Indigenous Peoples of Cervantes in Ilocos Sur, Philippines by Mr. Ranek A. Azarias. Okay, and the 11 is paper by revealing students' environment care attitudes viewed by different gender and department by Miss Siti Nur Hidayati. And the 12th paper is Kampung Buddha Sendong at Local Wisdom, the symbolic forms of COVID-19 traditional ritual, its internalization and comparing to the villagers' educational background by Ibu Fida Hasanatun. And the 13th paper is Research Skills Profile of Prospective Science Teacher Reviewing from Gender. And the last paper for this room is Guidance and Counseling and Homeroom Guidance in Public Schools. How do we do in this time of the pandemic by Dr. Angela Cortez. Okay, Bapak Ibu, before we begin, I have a few housekeeping notes. The first is today's session is being recorded to be available for viewing post-conference. And the second note is if you have questions for the presenters, okay, you may raise your hand and turn on your microphone and ask them questions for the presenters. You may raise your hand, okay, and ask them to loud or use the chat feature in this Zoom meeting, and I will read you a question loud on the conference platform for this session for presenters to answer this session. Okay, and the third note is each presenters today will have a total 10 minutes for their presentation. If one of our presentation completes their presentation before they have 10 minutes to stop. Okay, there may be time for a question from attendees. However, we will hold most questions until the end of the session, and I will then read question out loud for the presenters to answer as they permits. Okay. Bapak Ibu, I would like to read the guidelines of this presentation today. The first is in Zoom meeting, please rename by room, code, serial number, and underscore name of your self-presenters. Yeah, okay. And the second guidelines is during joining the video conference, you must keep the camera on and the microphone on, must be muted, computer must be muted, except for those who will ask questions or respond after being welcomed by the moderator. Okay, and the third notes is you must prepare the presentation 10 minutes before you start, and please pay attention on the duration of the presentation provided by the committee. Okay, and the last guidelines is your participation can only be verified if you participate even fully for 2 days, starting October 26 up to October 27, 2022. Okay, Bapak Ibu. Now let's please welcome our first presenter. The first presenter is the development of early childhood Meridian textbook based on the local wisdom in Gili Indah Village, North Lombok Regency, West Nusa Tenggara by Miss Nuraini and Miss Sarila. Okay. Miss Nuraini or Miss Sarila, the presentation room now is yours. Are you ready for presentation? Halo, Miss Sarila.
I'm sorry. I represent Mrs. Nuraini.
Okay.
The slide presentation was the sent to a video presentation for the link.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Ibu, thank you. So today's this morning, you not a direct presentation, but by video. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, audience, we will enjoy this video from the first paper. Okay.
The link, the video, the
development of early childhood maritime
Okay.
textbook based on local wisdom in Gili Indah Village, North Lombok Regency, West Nusa Tenggara. Introduction: the status of local wisdom that is applied to coastal areas can function as a control over human nature, which has limited needs and desire. Meanwhile, developed countries such as Japan have implemented maritime learning from an early age, which can indirectly foster an understanding of the importance of giving an insight into the coastal environment. Reflecting on the action that have been taken by the Japanese government, effort that can be made by the Indonesian government in improving human resources, especially to be able to manage marine resources, are to the education sector. As for achieving this goal in the study, a textbook will be developed as a guide that can be used by early childhood education teacher in delivering material related to marine affairs, which has a lot of scientific content and maritime cultural skill based local wisdom. Basic theory. Local wisdom is very important to be applied to an area. In this case, local wisdom is a life value system that is inherited from one generation to the next in the form of religion, culture, or custom, which are generally in oral form, inform society, social system. In Indonesia, people are blessed with various kind and files of local wisdom, and one example in this field of the environment, especially for people who live on the coast Gili Indah, West Nusa Tenggara, Indonesia, must be able to apply the philosophy of my grandfather, which is sailor, to be able to improve their standard of living. Education for early childhood is very important because it can improve children development, both cognitive, affective, and psychomotor, because from the learning process, children can determine the direction and quality of subsequent education. Research design. The research use a research and development design model. The research and development methods used in this research prefer to the ED development model. Quantitative data from expert test result and limited group trial were analyzed using the statistical package for the social science SPSS findings. The result of the analysis of pilot test, test, assessment, experts, and the time of the first measurement, T1 M equal 30.50, SD equal 0.79, and in case at the time of the second measurement to T2, M equal 39.30T, SD equal 1.23. Based on the result of the measurement, look, there is an increase of M equal 1.50, SD equal 1.61, which means after doing a remission of the textbook developed test, assessment expect to be increased. Discussion. The result of the research and development show that the maritime education textbook for early childhood development can be accepted by users after conducting a series of trials. The textbook developed by assessment have met the element of acceptability, in which the element of usability, implementation, accuracy, and sustainability have met the rules of product development. In addition, the contents of the textbook development have shown the deep on the competence that can be taught to students and accepted the goals, needs, abilities, and geographical condition. Conclusion. Based on the result of research and development that have been applied, it can be concluded that the textbook was developed already meet the element of acceptability and acceptability, which include for upset among others the usefulness, flexibility, accuracy, and appropriateness. In addition, after testing, a limited group obtained the result that the textbook developed is effective in this application. Research limitation and direction of future research. This study is limited only the development the product on the form of the textbook maritime-based local wisdom to be used by teachers of early childhood education. In addition, this study also only limited to trials group limited and do not test run of the broad group. Thank you.
Okay, there are first presentation of our first presenter. Now we go on the next presenters. The implementation of education during the COVID-19 pandemic in special elementary school, Emergency. There are representative of Mr. Asrorul Mais or Lailatul Akfal Yaum. Okay, if there is no representative, we will go on the next presentation. The third presentation is from PR assessment analysis of performance appraisal using analytical rubrics to improve critical thinking skills by Ms. Tuti Iriani. Okay, there is representative for Ms. Tuti Iriani. Okay, good morning, Ms. Tuti Iriani. Welcome to join this room. Okay, good morning, Ms. Tuti Iriani. Yeah, pardon, I'm so sorry, can hear your voice clearly.
Sorry. Actually, I'm at a laboratory, so it's quite loud in here.
Okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you can make us a condition more conducive.
I have quite loud in here.
Also, your connection seems in trouble. Okay.
Yes. I'm at class. Yeah. Can I just send a chat?
Hello, Ms. Tuti Iriani. Audience and attendee, please. Okay, audience and attendee in this room, all of you can catch my voice clearly, or the connection of Ms. Tuti Iriani is in trouble. Hello, Ms. Tuti Iriani. Okay. I have a class today, so the room is quite loud and the connection is bad. Okay, Miss Tuti Iriani. So, would you mind if we play your video, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Miss Iriani. All the attendee. Okay, all the attendee. We will play the video from Miss Tuti Iriani. Okay. Ya, bisa diputarkan, Mbak? Ya.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Yusrina Lutfiana. I'm on behalf of Tuti Iriani and Anissa from Faculty of Engineering, Universitas PGRI Jakarta. Today, I would like to present our paper with title Peer Assessment Analysis of Performance Appraisal using Analytical Rubrics to Improve Critical Thinking Skills. For this presentation, I would like to explain about the introduction of this paper, the methodology that we used, the results of our study, and also the conclusion of this study. First, introduction. Assessment is a key factor in learning that aims to measure the level of competence achievement and improve student learning outcomes. The study will analyze student performance assessment in compiling multiple choice questions, starting from compiling a grid of questions to analyzing items. The assessment is carried out by peer assessment using a rubric that has been prepared and has gone through the content validation stage with very decent results. Several studies have found that peer assessment has a positive impact on improving grade point average scores on cognitive skills. If previous research has found that peer assessment can be used as a benchmark for performance appraisal and peer assessment has a positive impact, then the formulation of the problem in this study is how are the results of peer assessment analysis using analytical rubric in assessing performance abilities and improving students' critical thinking skills. Second is methodology. The total respondent for this study is 55 students who took the evaluation learning course. The analysis data technology used is confirmatory factor analysis, or CFA. The method used in this study is descriptive method. The figure on the left shows a peer assessment chart. Namely, student A assessed the performance of B, and student B assessed the performance of C. Student C assessed performance of D. Student D assessed performance of E. Student E assessed performance of A, and so on. The data collection technique is carried out by assessing performance using an analytical rubric. Each student is asked to present their final assignment, namely compiling and analyzing objective questions. After that, each student will assess students in their groups. For example, student A assessed the work of student B. Then, student B assessed the work of student C, and so on. The analytic rubric was given to a friend through a Google form. Then, the result of the assessment analysis were assessed by 3 lecturers using the critical thinking skills rubric consisting of 5 indicators with a Likert scale. 4 is very good, 3 is good, 2 is fair, and 1 is poor. Then, the results of this study. The result of the analysis based on the confirmatory factor analysis, or CFA, indicate that the validity and reliability provide precise and reliable results, while the results of the class average scores showed a low of 56. This can be interpreted that the results of observations on this indicator are very varied or uneven. There are respondents who have a very high scores, and some other respondents have very low scores. It can be understood that during the assessment of colleague that there are many influencing factors, as stated by Grace et al. 2012, namely the honesty or objectivity factor in the assessment. The lack of experience of the students in conducting peer assessments causes student assessment results to be smaller or greater than teacher assessments. Besides that, the assessment is carried out online, so that many factors affect the assessment, such as concentration, time, and lack of understanding of the material. And then also based on the graph on the left, it shows that the indicators of interpretations, analysis, evaluation, explanation, and self-regulation have students' critical thinking skills are classified as low, namely at 40% to 58%. The high and the low categories of critical thinking skills certainly have causal factors. One of the causative factors identified as inhibiting factors for critical thinking skills is misconceptions. Several other studies also mention that misconceptions are an inhibiting factor for the development or critical thinking skills. The fact that students experience misconceptions is often found in the use of concepts that are still wrong when solving problems. Now, we come to the conclusion. Based on the results of this study, it can be concluded that the analytical rubric used by peer assessment to measure students' critical thinking skills is valid and reliable. However, based on the results of students' critical thinking skills have not given satisfactory results. This has many influencing factors, such as lack of experience of students in conducting peer assessments, and online assessment, lack of concentration, time, and lack of understanding of the rubric content and misconceptions. Thus, the teacher's task is very important in preparing strategies and methods of appropriate learning to provide opportunities for students to practice problem solving. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Tuti Iriani. There are a great presentation from Ms. Tuti Iriani. Thank you very much. I hope all of you participants enjoy this amazing presentation. Okay, now we will go on the next presentation. Okay, participant, I will remind you that we have sent on the chat box a link for registration and evaluation. Okay, so please fill this out, and we go on now to the next presenters. Okay. The next presenter is paper with title Eco-Life Media Effect on Students' Eco-Intelligence Ability in Social Studies Learning. Okay, representative from Mr. L.D. Mulyana. Okay, have you attended this room? Oh, okay, okay. So we will, you will present your own presentation by video.
I will do presentation by PowerPoint.
Okay, okay, great.
Oral presentation.
Okay, okay, okay. Please, Miss Alni Dahlina. Okay,
yes.
Miss Alni Dahlina, the presentation room is yours.
Okay, thank you, Miss. And before, I would like to thank the opportunity for me to present in this event. Let me introduce myself. My name is Anda Lena. I am from Institut Pendidikan Indonesia Garut. Here I will explain about my research and I represent to Mr. Erwin Mulyana and other author to present the research of our research. Okay, let me to show the PowerPoint. Okay, can you see to my PowerPoint?
Okay, seems so clear.
Okay, thank you, Miss. The first about my research entitled Eco-Life Media Effect on Student Eco-Intelligence Ability in Social Studies Learning. The first slide about introductions. Research background about my research, the phenomenon of the development of technology, information, and communication greatly affects the development of learning media. In this era technology, information has become this enlightenment, including in the field of education in Indonesia, even in the world that is currently entering the era of evolution social industry 5.0. The context of the applications Eco-Life as a learning medium for social science subjects in a fostering ecological intelligence in students. In students, so that grows student ecological intelligence in social studies. Okay, the next slide is about theoretical review. The learning process to inform. Co-literacy requires approach, media, and learning research that invite students to be actively involved with actually the learning process must provide opportunities for all students so the student can develop their potential in the learning process that will directs students to be actively by involving all sense of touch, physical and intellectual, which the student own experience. Okay. The next slide about the research method. The research use a quantitative approach. Data processing use SPSS version 25. The population in the study was 2040 students at junior high school course Garut. Techniques provide equal opportunities for every member in the population. The students who were sampled were class X. And the next slide about research and discussions. By table normality test research, based on the research of the normality test, the significant value of the X and Y variable is 0.965, which of 0.05. So that because 0.965 more than 0.05, it can be concluded that the data distribution is normally distributed. Based on the research, the Eco-Life, which contains the concept of eco-friendly traditional house, is here to provide solutions to environmental problems. the applications of the concept of an environmentally friendly house can be applied in everyday life. Okay, the next slide about the research based on the research hypothesis test research. The hypothesis which states that there is a relationship between a client and equal their intelligence. In other words, based on the has been carved out, it can be seen that the significant value 0.624 than 0.05. So it can be concluded that there is a linear relationship between the X variable equality and the Y variable intelligence. Okay, the next slide. Based on the eco-life media that provide eco-life social studies learning, future, traditional village house philosophy, eco-materials, and eco-home designs. The first feature, namely eco-life social studies learning, contain information about social studies learning on protecting the environment and interesting social studies learning, and release an environmentally friendly home. Based on the table above, it can be concluded the magnitude of the value of science. The coefficient of determinant R squared is 0.63, which means that the effects of variable X on a variable Y is 60.3%, and for the remaining 33.7% influenced by other variables not exempt in this study. Based on this, the reasons students have to start preferring college is because of the convenience provided to consumers in meeting their needs. Okay, the last slide about conclusions in this my research and other teams author research. Based on the research that has been carried out at Junior High School PGRI, it is related to the exchange of eco-based learning media on student eco-intelligence, especially social studies learning, specialists in studying the relationship between human and the environment. And to grow ecological intelligence in students, it can be done by the student experience into the classroom, and these experiences are fixed and integrated into social studies materials. So the student will be released in life, but in education institution and in society. When students have applied intelligence social start from management, rubbish so by direct will carefully utilize things which no from no beneficials become beneficials, and how the reduce accumulations of garbage in the environment, and student will begin to release the importance of God's environment. Okay, I think enough to presentation, and thanks for your attention, and I do thank you to my attention and for watching my presentation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Miss. Alnidah Lena. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for Miss Alnidah Lena. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now we go on the fifth paper. They are entitled in Religious Literature Management in Catholic Senior High School with Multi-Religious Students. Okay, will be presented by Miss Nurlaili Noviani. Have you attend here? Okay. Okay, good morning, Miss Nurlaili Noviani. Okay, have you ready for the great presentation today?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, okay. Now the representation is yours, please, Miss Nurlaili Noviani.
I'm going to share my presentation. Have you seen it? Have you seen it? Hello?
Okay, we have see it clearly.
Okay, okay. I'm in the middle of my
But the sound, your back sounds so noisy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of my son's school festival. So
Okay. It's okay. It's okay. Okay.
I'm going to proceed present my paper.
Okay.
Entitled Religious Literature Management in Catholic Senior High School. Paper actually was written by two authors, which is me. I'm from National Research and Innovation Agency, called the Badan Research and Inovasi Nasional, BRIN, and the second author is Nurlaili Mariani. She is from Diponegoro University. Okay, let's go to the introduction. Indonesian government provides services for 6 official religions. Conditions of the religious education is important in order to help students recognizing, understanding, memorizing, and implementing instructions. Religious education being taught in order to support students carry out their daily worship, obedience, and religion as the basic ethical and moral in private, family, society, and nation life. Government has published regulation about self-religious education in school, which was written clearly in Minister of Religious Affairs Education. It is stated that if there are 15 students with the same religion or more in classroom, then religious education must be held according to the religion and so on. Schools under religious foundation have the right to provide education according to the government curriculum and develop additional curriculum as long as it still in accordance with SFP. Schools under religious foundation have the right to provide religious education according to the foundation curriculum, and they are not able to force students to join religious education with their religion. One of the moral responsibilities in certain religious education in school is by providing textbooks of religious education as the main one. Textbook and non-textbook research in learning process is regulated by laws on regulations, and it has to be declared by the Ministry of Education and Culture. The policy of using religious character education textbook at the school under religious foundation has not been widely studied. The prior studies were concerned more on the religious education services provided by schools, not on the literature. This study focuses on the religious literature management used by SMA under Catholic Foundation in Semarang City. And the management itself is explained in 3 aspects, which is procurement policy, availability, and its utilization. The research question is, how is the religious literature management at SMA Universitas PGRI Madiun? The study was conducted using qualitative research method. The data collected technique that is used are observation, interview, document study, and focus group discussion. The research was conducted on September until October 2019 in SMA Universitas PGRI Madiun. And now to the result and discussion. One of the reasons for choosing SMA PGRI Madiun as the research focus is because the school, even though it was held under Catholic Foundation, students from 6 religions which are officially served by the state. The teachers and school staff are also quite diverse. The second reason is because of the school library has already provided multi-religious literature, even though though they are under Catholic foundation. SMA Sari Sapientia Semarang provides an empty room for non-Catholic students so they can pray inside, and they name it Ruang Doa or prayer room. The room rarely used by Muslim students because students prefer to pray on the mosque near the school and in their home. The school stated that they provide freedom to all students from any religions to pray during school time, but they only provided Catholic religious and character education as a religious subject. Students who are non-Catholics were given freedom by the school whether they want to participate or not in the Catholic religious rituals. The school also provides religiosity education, which is packaged by visiting worship place or private religion. Now, the first finding about procurement policy of religious literature. SMA Universitas Sapientia Semarang uses cost or bantuan operasional sekolah to procure literature, not only religious literature. The main religious literature provided using both funds is the Catholic religious and character education subject. Both funds will also be used to buy books at educational or religious exhibition, excluding the procurement of Bible. The religious literature, besides textbooks, LKS, and Bible, also used sources from the internet. There were 3 websites which was recommended by the teachers, Iman Katolik, Katolicitas, and Nopen KWI. These 3 websites are considered as the most reliable websites in case of the content or substance. The procurement of non-Christian religious books, which are available in the library, so far come from the nation, both from student and Ministry of Education and Culture. Now to the religious literature availability. The library in SMA Sari Sapientia Semarang has used the judicial classification, and in 2019 they still use manual method in making note and recording the collection. The librarian in the school has just started registering and recording their books collection one by one, including all religious books published in the 1915 until 1990s, which were still coded using the old classification code. Library of SMA Sari Semarang also provides Christian theme and non-Christian theme books. According to the librarian notes, some religious books stored in library are Catholic religious and character education. Catholic religious education published by Canisius Publisher. The religious textbook from the other religion, 35 holy books, including Islam, Christian, Catholic, Buddhist, and Confucian. They are not providing Hindu holy book because it's a little bit heavy and thick. Besides, there are also biblical encyclopedias, Islamic encyclopedias, and Christian encyclopedias. The last finding, the textbook is always used by teacher in classroom learning process. The teachers in SMA series not only use textbooks in every classroom meeting, but also use Bible, which must be brought during Catholic religious education lesson. The teachers at SMA series also use some supporting literature such as Vatican Council document, social documents document, canonical books, and etc. The Holy Book of non-Catholic religion was used by one of the teachers when given homework or assignment, which is universal. The student used textbook in learning activities, principal teacher's task, mid-semester assessment, and final semester assessment. So they read it because there was a demand from the teacher to read it, not because of self-awareness to increase knowledge. Religious textbooks are also used in religious activities. In SMA Sari Sapientia Semarang, religious books are used to read prayer 3 times a day, Mass, retreat, recollection, Marsudirini subject, religiosity education, and when receiving the sacrament. Now the last part is conclusion. SMA Marsudirini Sapientia Semarang, which is held under Catholic foundation, that is held to have students from various religions. One form of services provided by the school to the multi-religious students is providing religious literature of all religions in the school library. Management of the literature includes 3 aspects, namely procurement, policies, availability, and utilization. Religious literature was both used in Post Fund, Foundation Fund, and also donations. In addition to textbook on Catholic religious education and character education, the school library also provides various religious non-textbooks, such as holy books of various religions, and encyclopedia and other religious thematic books. The religious literature is used by teachers and students both in the daily learning and in religious literacy activities at certain time. Even in learning process in classroom, the teacher has included content of religious setting which includes all religions. Thus, management of religious literature in the school is carried out by providing services for all students of various religions. Okay, thank you, Ms. Moderator. This is my presentation. A little bit sorry because I'm in the middle of my son's school festival.
Okay, is it okay? I hope the other attendants would also enjoy your presentation. You have a great presentation, Miss Nur Laili. Okay,
Thank you.
Okay, now we will go on the first term of question and answer. So in this session, I would like to open 3 questions. Please you to ask to all of presenters on the previous presenters. Okay, please, if you have a question, you can write down on the chat box, or you can also direct question in here. Okay, please, if you have any question to the presenter, for the presenters. And also, attendance, I would like to remind you again to the chat box. On the chat box, we have sent 2 links for the presentation of the attendance, for the participant attendance, and for the presenter attendance. So please, all of you have it and to fill this out. So for sure you can receive the certificate. Yeah. Okay. Any question, attendance? No, not yet. If there is no question, okay, we go on the next presentation. Okay, now we go on the next presentation, on the 6th presentation, 6th paper from Miss Ati Ernawati Atfal Murodi. The representative is attending this room. Nggak ada. Okay. There is no representative from the paper number 6, Design and Development of Batik Village, Gemek Sekti Kebumen, based on local wisdom for tourism education. There is no representative. Okay, not yet. Now we go on the 7th paper by Yolanda Zuzima V. Ableng. Have you already attend here, Miss Yolanda Zuzima? Miss Yolanda Zuzima, have you already attend here? Okay, seems not yet. And we go on criminal justice education graduate research study by Donna Bell B. Boring, Jennifer F. Guitba. The representative is attend this room. Okay, not yet. Now, we will enjoy the video from John Paul R. Alasas. If the representative is attend in this room, please raise your hand. Paper about the factors influencing the decision of victims to report to the police, a case study. Other representative from this paper attend this room? Not yet? Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, even there is no representative, I would like to share for you the video from John Paul R. Alasas that have been sent on the committee. Okay. Please you enjoy this video.
To the research presentation panel of evaluators, and to my fellow research presenters, a blessed day to everyone. I'm here to present our research entitled Factors Influencing the Decisions of Victims to Report to the Police, a case study. Yours truly, John Paul R. Alasas, and his SCGE faculty, and of course, my co-author, Joshua G. Del Rosario, a BS Criminology student. Countering crime is one of the principal tasks of any government. For this to occur, crime must come to the attention of the criminal justice system. In this regard, a victim's decision to report victimization to the police is crucial. Victims' report are the main sources of the information for the police and the basis for the most of subsequent actions of the justice system. Unless the police were witnesses to a crime, an incident has to be reported to the police for them to be aware of it. Therefore, criminologists have considered reporting as an important aspect in the criminal justice process. Understanding the characteristics and the reasons why crimes are reported and not reported may help identify gaps in the provision of criminal justice services and at the same time inform about police practice and policies. In fact, the common motivations for reporting a crime include to teach the offender a lesson and to discourage other offenders to get money from the insurance to recover important property thereof. Thus, the objective of this study is to identify the different factors influencing the decisions of victims to report to the police and victims' coping mechanisms after the process of victimization. It is then hopeful sense does the researcher that the understanding of the community on the necessity of reporting criminal incidents be improved after the dissemination of these results. Methodology. The researchers use qualitative case study type of research, aiming to know the different reasons for reporting and not reporting victims' crime victimization to the police, which also includes their coping mechanisms after the process of victimization. The blatter from the barangay is the primary document in the research study that is used to determine the victims' participants. There were 6 participants who participated in the study. Purposive sampling method was used in choosing the participants, and the criteria of the participants are as follows. First, they experienced crime victimization for the last 5 years. Secondly, residents of 2nd District of Ilocos Sur. And third, they reported or did not report their crime victimization to the police. There were 3 males and 3 females, and they involved with the different type of crimes like robbery, carnapping, theft, rape, and estafa. The interview guide was adopted with the research of Alasas 2019, which aims to collect the information concerning about the factors why victims report or does not report their crime victimization to the police and their coping mechanisms after the process of victimization. So based from the responses of the participants, thematic analysis was used. The researchers spent some time familiarizing data collected by repeatedly reading the verbal data before trying to code and search for the meaning. So here are now the results. First, I would like to discuss the first theme developed, which is personal factor. So victims may report or not report to the police due to the pull of energy of the inside and outside of individual, which is personal in nature. So as you can see, it could be seek for justice for themselves, feel of retaliation, and socioeconomic status. First, we have justice. Justice can mean different things to different people, and reporting a crime to law enforcement is an individual decision. Many who have decided to report to law enforcement have described it as the first step in seeking justice for crime by holding the first perpetrator accountable for their actions. This is actually illustrated by two participants. Next, we have also the fear. Fear is an unpleasant emotional state of psychological and psychophysiological responses to a real external threat or danger. It is a strong emotion that has been one of the major deterrents of reporting crime to the police. If a victim of such crimes committed by police, they know are most likely threatened by the suspect, then reporting would be rare in fear of retaliation. Like Singer and Rana Porwala, Berg and Castle 2016 cited that most people fail to report their victimization to the police because of the fear of reprisal. Next is socioeconomic status. The socioeconomic status of a victim affect crime reporting behavior. People who are economically disadvantaged are less willing to cooperate with police, and in this case, unwillingness to report witness crimes or victimization even to the police. The low-income persons are less likely to report crimes compared to high-income persons. In support to this claim, Skogan and Godbian also confirmed that high-income families are more likely to report crime victimization. The next theme that we will be discussing is the police factor. Actually, citizens will either have a positive or negative attitude toward the police, depending on its culture. For instance, if the victim perceives that they do not trust the police, then most people will develop a negative attitude towards them, which will affect the behavior of reporting crime, and they will trust the process, and the police most likely they will report the crime victimization. So first sub-theme is trust to the police. According to one participant, victims report to the police because they trust the police in their investigation and their efforts to really to do their job in providing justice for the victim. The way that the police behave generally towards citizens may also be a factor. Studies have shown that people are more likely to express confidence if during specific encounters the police were perceived to have acted fairly and justly. But according to one participant, victims are unlikely to report to the police because they do not trust the police and the process. Another is lack of evidence. People may think it is normal dilemma to call the police. This happens when they lack evidence or substantial information to accuse the offender. If this gets to the police, there will be an investigation dependent on witness statement, but an arrest is unlikely without additional statements, information, and corroborating evidences. The police have to substantiate the evidence, and if a witness does not have any evidence, they might opt not to report. Third, we have the sociological factor. Sociologically, reporting of crime to the police is a function of social structures in the society in which the victim and offender live, which can be influenced their decision with the environment they belong. influence of persons reporting behavior of one's victim. So the sub-theme here is influence of known people. Victims' direct social environment is also important, that if the people surrounding a victim, especially the partners, advises him or her not to report or report, he or she will be less inclined to turn to the police or will ask for help, or the vice versa is also true. The next is the different coping mechanisms. We have here the emotion-focused coping and avoiding reminders of crime, and we have the getting of support. As to emotion-focused, they feel that these doing actions follow them to forget about the process of victimization. This involves like reduction of negative emotional responses associated with stress such as embarrassment, fear, anxiety, depression, excitement, and frustrations. This may be only realistic option when the source of stress is beyond the person's control. Another is avoiding reminders of crime. Avoiding reminders of crime is just like trying to forget that crime transpired at all, as illustrated by the following quotes. It applies also, but it could also give a negative impact to the victims, especially that is not voiced out. Human beings need to express their thoughts, feelings, or outbursts to someone, and in the absence of support mechanism, it could lead to forms of anxiety or other mental issues. And finally, we have getting support as a coping mechanism may be considered as a passive strategy, while non-reporting of criminal victimization to the police is a great burden on the part of the victim. Social support from people close to the victim may be the last resort. It could somehow lighten the burden of victims from negative thoughts about the situation, which includes thoughts of suicide and like depending on the seriousness of the incident. Conclusions. Reporting of crime to the police is a behavior that is dependent on several factors. Depending on the factors, the crime can either be reported or not. Victims decide whether to seek help from police, to seek a private solution, to reevaluate the situation, or to do nothing at all. Victims have many possible coping strategies at their disposal and their choice of strategy. Recommendations. First, the PNP should conduct information dissemination regarding the rights of victims and the advantage to report incidents to the police. Second, the local government unit of the concerned city or municipality may enact an ordinance that provides support in terms of emotional, psychological, and even legal aids to victims of crimes to ensure that these are filed appropriately. Colleges and universities may implement information drive through seminars and symposiums to encourage the populace to report crime victimization. Thank you and good day.
Okay, great presentation from Mr. John Paul R. Alasas. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question, you may put it or write it down on the chat box. Yeah, anytime we will, the moderator and volunteer will accommodate it, and we will try to ask to the presenters on the end of this session. Okay. Okay. Are you ready to go on the next presenters? Okay, we will go on heirloom food preservation techniques and language of indigenous peoples of Cervantes, Ilocos Sur Philippines. The representative from Mr. Anek Azarias. Have you attend this room? Okay, the representative of Mr. Anek Azarias. Not yet? Okay. Okay. Because of the previous, Mr. Anek didn't attend this room, also his representative. We will go on the next presentation from Miss Siti Nurhidayati and the research about the revealing students' environment care attitudes viewed by different gender and departments. Miss Siti Nurhidayati. Okay. Are you ready, Ibu, for the clear presentation this morning? Good morning, Bu Siti Nurhidayati. Okay. Okay, where are you from, Ibu?
UNIPMA. Universitas Pendidikan Mandalika, Mataram.
Oh, from Mandalika, Mataram. Okay. Yeah. If we heard about Mandalika, we remember to sport in Mandalika. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Ibu, the room presentation is yours. Please present your presentation.
Menggunakan video saja.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. You not or a presentation not this morning, okay? By video.
Video, okay.
Yes. Okay.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi dan salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Terima kasih saya ucapkan untuk Bapak Ibu panitia komprehensi yang memberikan kesempatan kepada kami untuk presentasikan artikel kami yang berjudul Revealing Student Environment Values by Gender Influence. Kami tim dari Universitas Pendidikan Madiun yang bermitra dengan Universitas Negeri Surabaya. Introduction. Di Indonesia, kerusakan lingkungan terus terjadi, sementara kesadaran dan perilaku lingkungan masih sangat rendah. Belum banyak literatur yang mengkaji efek demografi seperti gender dan jurusan terhadap sikap peduli lingkungan, khususnya di Indonesia. Salah satu penelitian yang mengkaji peran gender terhadap sikap dan peduli lingkungan dilakukan oleh Soehardi tahun 2015 yang menemukan bahwa siswa perempuan memiliki sikap kepedulian yang lebih tinggi dibandingkan laki-laki. Hasil penelitian ini perlu diperkuat dengan penelitian lanjutan. Sikap peduli lingkungan sangat dibutuhkan untuk menjaga kelestarian lingkungan. Tujuan penelitian ini adalah untuk mengungkap sikap peduli lingkungan siswa pada gender dan jurusan yang berbeda. Metode penelitian ini adalah penelitian deskriptif yang melibatkan 594 orang siswa yang tersebar di Provinsi Nusa Tenggara Barat, Indonesia. Instrumen yang digunakan adalah angket sikap peduli lingkungan yang menggunakan skala Likert 1 sampai dengan 4. Penelitian ini mengukur 5 aspek sikap peduli lingkungan, yaitu aspek A1, mengetahui pentingnya potensi lingkungan sekitar, A2, menjaga kebersihan dan keindahan lingkungan, A3, menyadari manfaat menjaga lingkungan, A4, memperhatikan keseimbangan lingkungan, dan A5, usaha-usaha perbaikan lingkungan. Data kemudian dianalisis menggunakan statistik deskriptif yang dilanjutkan dengan analisis one by ANOVA. Hasil dan pembahasan. Di sini ada 2 data yang disajikan, yaitu yang pertama, sikap peduli lingkungan siswa pada jenis kelamin yang berbeda. Tabel 1 ini menampilkan mengenai hasil pengukuran 5 aspek sikap peduli lingkungan siswa. Dan tabel 1 ini juga menunjukkan bahwa siswa perempuan memiliki sikap peduli lingkungan yang lebih baik dibandingkan siswa laki-laki untuk seluruh aspek sikap peduli lingkungan, yaitu pada aspek A1, mengetahui pentingnya potensi lingkungan sekitar, A2, menjaga kebersihan dan keindahan lingkungan, A3, menyadari manfaat menjaga lingkungan, A4, memperhatikan keseimbangan lingkungan, dan A5, usaha-usaha perbaikan lingkungan. Selain tabel 1, ada juga gambar 1 tentang perbandingan sikap peduli lingkungan siswa perempuan dan laki-laki pada 5 aspek sikap peduli lingkungan. Tabel 1 dan gambar 1 ini juga mengungkapkan bahwa sikap peduli lingkungan siswa perempuan pada 2 aspek, yaitu A2 dan A3, menunjukkan nilai tertinggi dibandingkan 3 aspek lainnya, dengan nilai berturut-turut sebesar 90,28 dan 91,72. Aspek A2 dan A3 berkaitan dengan menjaga kebersihan dan keindahan lingkungan. Hasil ini mengindikasikan bahwa siswa perempuan lebih peduli terhadap kebersihan dibandingkan laki-laki. Kemudian data yang kedua terkait sikap peduli lingkungan siswa pada jurusan yang berbeda. Hasil analisis ANOPA perbedaan sikap peduli lingkungan siswa pada 5 aspek pengamatan ditampilkan pada tabel ini. Tabel ini menunjukkan bahwa ada perbedaan sikap peduli lingkungan siswa untuk 5 aspek sikap peduli lingkungan pada jurusan sains dan sosial. Hasil ini mengungkapkan bahwa siswa pada jurusan sains memiliki sikap peduli lingkungan yang lebih baik dibandingkan siswa pada jurusan sosial. Hasil ini juga diperkuat oleh gambar 2 yang menunjukkan bahwa rata nilai sikap peduli lingkungan siswa jurusan sains pada 4 aspek, yaitu A1, A2, A3, dan A5 sangat tinggi dibandingkan aspek lainnya, yaitu aspek A4. Untuk mengetahui sikap peduli lingkungan siswa dilihat dari interaksi antara gender dengan departemen, maka dilakukan analisis deskriptif yang ditampilkan pada gambar 3. Gambar 3 ini mengenai rata nilai sikap peduli lingkungan siswa pada gender dan jurusan yang berbeda. Gambar 3 ini juga mengungkapkan bahwa ada tren sikap peduli yang berbeda. Hasil penelitian menunjukkan bahwa siswa perempuan pada jurusan sains memiliki rata nilai sikap peduli lingkungan yang paling tinggi dengan nilai sebesar 93,78. Selanjutnya, siswa laki-laki pada jurusan sains menduduki posisi kedua dengan nilai 90,01. Posisi ketiga siswa perempuan pada jurusan sosial dengan nilai 81,99, dan terakhir siswa laki-laki pada jurusan sosial dengan nilai 77,31. Kesimpulan dari hasil penelitian ini dapat disimpulkan bahwa dari 5 aspek sikap peduli lingkungan, siswa perempuan memiliki sikap peduli lingkungan yang lebih baik dibandingkan laki-laki. Kemudian siswa pada jurusan sains memiliki sikap peduli lingkungan yang lebih baik dibandingkan siswa laki-laki pada 5 aspek sikap peduli lingkungan yang diamati. Siswa perempuan pada jurusan sains memiliki rata nilai sikap peduli lingkungan yang paling tinggi, diikuti oleh siswa laki-laki pada jurusan sains, siswa perempuan pada jurusan sosial, dan terakhir siswa laki-laki pada jurusan sosial. Demikian yang bisa kami sampaikan. Terima kasih atas perhatiannya. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The great presentation from Ms. Siti Nurhidayati, yeah, about the refilling student environment care attitude. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Ibu, for the presentation. Now we go on the next paper, the next articles about the Kampung Muda Sodong local wisdom, the symbolic forms of COVID-19 traditional ritual, its internalization, and comparing to the villagers as educational backgrounds by Ibu Fida Hasanatun. Ibu Fida Hasanatun, have you ready for the presentation? Have you already joined this room, Ibu? Or the representative of Miss Fida Hasanatun? Ibu Fida, have you attended this room? Have you joined? Or the representative of Ibu Fida Hasanatun? Okay, if there is no Ibu Fida or the representative, we will go on the next article about the research skills profile of prospective science teacher reviewing from gender by Mr. Ahmad Sukri, Hadi Gunawan Sakti, Muhammad Arif Rizka, Indah Lestari, and Miss Marheni Lukitasari. One of the author of this article. Have you been joined this room? Or the representative of the presenters, maybe, from students? Hello, the representative of research skill profile of prospective science teacher reviewing from gender? Okay, not yet. Not yet. Ladies and gentlemen, all the participants, okay, because of the two previous presenters, number 12 and 13, isn't join this room, and there is no video that have been sent on the committee. We will go on the last presenters in this room. There are article from Dr. Angelica Ocortes. The representative has been joined this room. Not yet, but the Dr. Angelica Ocortes have been sent a video. Now we will watch the video about the article guidance and counseling and homeroom guidance in public schools. How do we do in this time of pandemic? Okay.
Pleasant day, everyone. I am Mary Jane L. Tomas of NUST College of Education, Philippines, to present our study entitled Guidance and Counseling and Homeroom Guidance in Public Schools. How do we do this in this time of pandemic? Homeroom guidance is an integral part of any curriculum implementation in any type of situation there may be, and more importantly, in time of pandemic. In all levels of education, homeroom guidance plays a significant role and should be considered as an integral component of the overall mental health building plan of all education institutions. Towards the implementation of a holistic homeroom guidance program, guidance counselors of the school lead the most important task. According to Undersecretary Jesus Mateo, as of May of 2020, there were 1,096 active counselors in the Department of Education. This number is part of the 5,398 authorized positions for the profession, where more than 80% are unfilled. On the other hand, as of July 2017, per report released on June 9, 2019, there were 3,220 registered guidance counselors since the first batch of licensure examinees in 2008. Considering the present need of the Department of Education, the total number of licensed guidance counselors is still not enough. To address the foregoing need to have at least one guidance counselor per school, teachers perform the task and they themselves act as guidance counselor. To meet the growing needs of students in schools with professional guidance counselors, while in the midst of shortage of such professionals, the need for capacity building program for teachers to become equipped to work as substitute guidance counselors is highly needed. Thus, the conduct of this study. The study explored the issues underlying the shortage of guidance counselors in Region 3. Specifically, the study answered the following questions. First, how may the specific issues underlying the shortage of guidance counselors in most of DepEd schools in Region 3 be described? Second, how may the issue be categorized? Third, what initiatives may be given to address the issues categorized as partner agency level, DepEd level, SHED level, and other agency level. The study described the status of shortage of guidance counselors in most schools in Region 3 and the need for a capacity building program for homeroom guidance and counseling to address the needs of 4 schools division of the Department of Education, which are partners of NUST College of Education. The study was conducted during the second semester of the school year 2021 and 2022. This study made use of case analysis as the research design with documentary analysis as the main mode of analyzing the data. The primary source of data for the study were reports from various agencies. All gathered data about the identified variables were presented textually and in tables. The data were descriptively discussed. In a DepEd post dated February 28, 2020, the chief of the department, Madame Leonor Briones, admitted that there is a guidance counselor supply problem. Secretary Briones emphasized and was quoted saying, "At this time with Generation Z and the challenges which our learners are facing from society and global developments, kailangan talaga ng guidance counselors." Moreover, during the Economic Development Cluster meeting at the Department of Finance on November 28, 2019, DepEd Secretary Briones aired the urgent need to hire guidance counselors. She identified the following reasons which hindered the hiring of guidance counselors to man the 47,000 public schools in the country. And these are high qualification standards, salary grade 11 as an entry level, and pending requests to increase the salary of guidance counselors. As stated, as of May 2020, there were 1,096 active counselors in the Department of Education, and there were 47,000 public schools in the whole country, catering to the 27,232 and 95 enrollees for school year 2021-2022. If the standard or required one counselor for every 500 students ratio is to be implemented, then the Department of Education would need about 54,464 guidance counselors. However, if the initial target is to have at least one guidance counselor per school, the DepEd is still in need of 45,904 guidance counselors. If the required number of guidance counselors is still unattainable for the department to meet, it is easy to deduce that the school in far-flung areas do not have guidance counselors. In 2019, there were legislative actions done to meet the long-time needs of the public schools for guidance counselor. The first one is an act creating in the Department of Education the plantilla positions of guidance counselors in every elementary school and additional plantilla positions for guidance counselor for high school, increasing the salaries of guidance counselors and guidance-related positions and appropriating funds therefore. The other one is an act institutionalizing support mechanism for public school teachers teachers and school personnel in matters of student discipline and mechanism for classroom management and providing for their protection in case related thereto. From the foregoing data, the main issue was the absence of guidance counselors in most schools of the Department of Education who play a vital role in the delivery of guidance programs of the school, including homeroom guidance. More specifically, the following issues stem from the main issue, which includes lack of qualified applicant for the unfilled items, low salary for guidance counselor 1, small schools in far or isolated places have no available plantilla position, unavailability of teacher education program on guidance and counseling, and pending Senate and House bills for the upgrading of plantilla positions for guidance counselors. The identified main issues can only be addressed if the identified agencies will work towards the solution of the issues. In some of the identified issues, the role of the higher education institutions is highly sought. The lack of guidance counselors in most schools in the Department of Education can be addressed by taking into consideration the following suggested solutions. These initiatives may be attainable at various levels by the identified agencies who may implement the initiatives. Initiatives are suggested to be undertaken as solutions to the identified issues presented on the slide. For the findings and conclusions, the study found out that the main issue is the shortage of guidance counselors in most of DepEd schools all over the country. The identified supporting issues stem from the lack of qualified guidance counselors in DepEd may be addressed through the collaborative and joint efforts of various agencies. And there were initiatives identified to address each of the identified issues. Based on the findings, it is recommended that NUST College of Education as a teacher education institution can be a part of the solution through the following. First, conduct capacity building program. Second, providing services as requested by the STOs. Third, enablement activities for DepEd teachers. And fourth, crafting of mental health toolkit. Thank you very much. Once again, this is Mary Jane L. Tomas of NUST College of Education, Philippines.
Okay, the great presentation from Mary Jane, Miss Mary Jane Joel Alvarez. Good morning,
Yes,
ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
How are you? Fine.
Fine, fine.
Okay. Okay. We go on the next question and answer session. Okay. If you want to ask two presenters, you can raise up your hand or you can write down on the chat box. Okay, please. On the session, I open for 3 questions. Okay, okay. There is no question here.
Thank you, Mom. It is such a privilege to be part of ICETECH. Thank you so much.
I'm so great to have you join this room, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am Mary Jane. Okay. If there's no question, from attendee, I would like to ask for the first presenters, Miss Nuraini. Miss Nuraini, are you still here? Still join this room? Hello, Miss Nuraini. Miss Nuraini. Miss Sarila. Hello, Miss Sarila. Hello. Okay, seems Miss Sarila and Miss Nuraini didn't join this room. I would like to ask about the third presenter, Miss Tuti Iriani. Miss Tuti Iriani, excuse me, I would like to ask you about why you choose the methodology. These methods, why you choose this, how you can get your respondent, and why you think that this is a proper method for your research. Hello. Okay, Ms. Tuti Iriani, I would like to repeat this question for you. Okay, on your research, why you choose a method like on your presentation on previous presentation, and why you choose those methods? Can you explain for us? Maybe you can start from the reason why you choose this method, why you think that that's a proper method in your research. Okay, Ms. Tuti. Okay, I think maybe it's disturbed by your mouse. You can maybe you open up your mouse for a while and then answer this question. Okay, I'm so sorry. I can't hear your voice clearly. Okay, good morning.
Yeah, because at the laboratory, so while testing here, so I ask the reason. So actually, this research is continuation and research, and it's pretty fast. Evaluation course. So why we choose this method, because it's already what done and just analysis evaluation course.
All the attendee, can you catch the voice of Ms. Tuti Iriani or just in my connection? I'm so sorry, Miss. Mom Tuti Iriani. The connection sounds disturbed.
Yeah, because I'm at the laboratory right now, so the connection isn't really good.
Okay.
Yeah. Can I just type on the chat?
Okay. Yeah, it is okay to write down your answer in the chat box.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
because the connection isn't.
Yeah. Okay. And forget that you are in a classroom, right?
Yeah, actually I'm in a laboratory, so the connection is. I'm sorry.
Okay, you can write down your answer on a chat box, please.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Excuse me, I would read your answer in the chat box. So actually this research is the continuation of another research and that has been conducted and it's already been implemented in the learning evaluation course. Why the method is like that? Because of the peer assessment, each student will assess another student and so on. Okay, thank you, Ibu. It sounds so clear answer for me. Okay. Okay, now we go on the next presenter is Miss Alni Dahlena. Okay, are you still join this room, Miss Alni Dahlena?
Okay, I am join.
Okay, Miss Alni Dahlena. Okay, I would like because of from the attendee there is no question. There is no question from attendee here. I would like to ask you. Excuse me. I would like to ask you. In your research, in this research that you have been represented, how do you analyze the data and how can you explain for us the way to validate the data?
Okay, Miss, before I would like to ask and to answer your questions about analysis data and validations data. In this my research to analysis data, this research using to the quantitative method and designs quasi experiment and this analysis data in populations in junior junior high school first Garut, and then about validations data can be to in this design quasi experiment. These are two about validations. The first about validations of pre-test and the validations of post-test. And I will to using about questionnaire in this pre-test and post-test to students and questions about questionnaire 30 questions and then to analyzing data about SPSS using to about validation data can be 20 validations, and the data validations and more than to the has been about value find 0.5, and this is data validations, and can be and I'm using to validation data to using software SPSS, and I think for the questions, and I think enough. Thanks for your attention, Miss.
Okay, thank you. That sounds so clear and detailed explanation about your method and how to validate it. Okay, okay, still join? Okay. Okay, thank you, Miss Alnida Helena, to answering my question. Now we go on Miss Mom Mary Jane, are you still joining this room? Hello, Mom Mary Jane, are you still join and attend this room, Mom? I would like to ask you about your presentation, your very, very interesting presentation. Okay, seems Miss Mom Mary Jane was not join this room. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have to the end on this session. I would say to thank you very much, and I hope all of you participants, hello, welcome back, Miss Nurlaili Noviani.
Hello.
Okay. You have left a very interesting question and answer session before. Okay.
Oh,
But
I'm
you join
sorry.
in on the closing session. Yes, you come back on the right time. Okay. Thank you very much for all of you, my attendant of this room. I hope all of you have enjoyed this amazing presentation, this amazing session. Yeah, thank you again for all of you. And before we close this on a closing session, I hope all of you, the attendee of this room, would you mind to turn on your camera? Photo session, okay, turn on your camera, and all of you, we would like to have a photo session. Ibu Tuti, okay, Nadia Nova, Miss Sarilah Undikma, Miss Nur Khalifa. Anyone or everyone that join this room, please turn on your camera and we will have a photo session. So please give me your best pose. Yeah, okay. Miss Nur Khalifa, Ferlinda Mustika, Miss Tantri, Miss Ratih, would you mind to join this room and turn on your camera? Okay. Okay, I will take this picture. Miss Tuti. Okay, Miss Tuti. Okay. We will start the photo session. 1, 2, 3. Done it? Okay. Okay, we will repeat once again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, all of attendees today. You have, all of you is great. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we go on the next, on the conclusion of this conference, Yeah, make sure that you have been fill the list of attendance or presenters. Okay, presentation of attendance, presentation of a participant, presentation of presenters. Okay, please you make sure that you have to write down your name to have the certificate. Okay, so this concludes the session today. For all of you participants, thank you for your attendance here. Now, I hope we can meet again in another occasion. If you want to watch again the video conference, you may go to Universitas PGRI Madiun, UNIPMA, on a YouTube channel. And we are delighted it also that you subscribe, like, and comment on the video. Okay, guys, all of you, all participants, I'll see you on the next conference. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss. Thanks for all.
Ini balik ke main session atau gimana?
Okay, Ibu, if you don't mind, you can back to on the main room, on the main room, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.